New video just dropped. HL Talk That Thought.
I stopped getting child support checks, and my child support checks pay for my daycare, and that's gone. On this day 2 years ago, I filed for divorce with an infant, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 9-year-old, and I had no fucking idea if I was gonna make it. This is what 2 years fighting looks like.
Dude, I mean, how crazy is it that this channel is able to find these plots of these women on TikTok documenting their divorce? It's so common. This is mind-blowing to me. It's so common this guy's able to make a channel dedicated to modern women filing divorce and then documenting it on their social media accounts. If that isn't fucking crazy, I don't know what is.
But like, I can't handle this shit. I'm having a hard time just surviving. It's just not fair.
And men are the problem, apparently. Sorry, I'm talking very loud.
It's not fair. Love can move mountains, and love can crush our souls.
Welcome back, family. Today, we are going to see yet another modern woman who was
It's definitely not all in your hands, is it?
very quickly by the hardship of life after she decided to divorce her husband of over 10 years with 3 kids, including an infant, just so that she can go find her so-called happiness, and then comes back crying after getting pumped and dumped while realizing how hard the single motherhood really is. But before watching her cries of regret,
1 a.m. confessions of a single mom. I'm not Superwoman. Unbelievable.
I will show how prideful and arrogant she was when she decided to divorce her husband.
On this day 2 years ago, I filed for divorce with an infant, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 9-year-old, who all have varying degrees of struggles, and I had no fucking idea if I was gonna make it. But I did know that I wasn't gonna spend another second of my life being abused or watching my children be abused by their father. And so I did it. I took the leap, I made the jump, and guess what? Thing I ever did in my entire life. So if you are on the fence today about filing those papers, I am here to tell you that just do it. Everything's gonna be okay.
Okay, real quick, what do we know about women and their shaming tactics that they use, right? We know that they shame a lot. And if you look at words real quick, like racist, incel, I don't know, homophobe, all these phobes, all of these accusations, all these bigoted slurs, what we notice is that women have used them so much over the past, I don't know, I would say 5-10 years, maybe less, maybe more, that so many of these words have completely lost meaning. Now, you mean to tell me they're not doing the same thing with the word abuse?
It will. It'll be okay. And you deserve to be happy and safe and loved and all the things.
This woman just put her 3 kids in a statistical disadvantage by deciding to divorce her husband for the dumbest reasons. And the worst part in all of this is that she is encouraging other women to divorce their husbands too, so that they can all be miserable together.
Just a snowball effect, man.
We all know that misery loves company. Here she is again, bragging about all the paperwork she filed against her ex-husband, as if she deserves a trophy.
Currently reorganizing my files, and this is what 2 years of fighting looks like. This is 3 injunctions for domestic violence, a divorce, and changes to a safety-focused parenting plan that I have done all completely pro se, without an attorney. All on my own.
She just talked about domestic violence and abuse. Well, this next clip will show you how most of these abuse claims by modern women are usually BS.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how once divorce starts, all of a sudden they're all victims of DV. Like, oh, how convenient. Oh, and hold on. So you mean to tell me this has nothing to do with you really trying to get child support? You mean to tell me these claims that you're now making have nothing to do with you wanting full custody? Is that right? You know, am I supposed to believe that? Am I supposed to believe that you going on social media and slandering your ex-husband's name isn't a strategy to get the money, to get the custody, to get the assets? Am I really supposed to believe that's not your end game here?
Was my experience as well, but it got to the point, and it will get to the point for you if you're not already feeling it, that you physically don't feel safe. You feel like you're just one altercation away, or there is violence around you and close enough as this person is capable of hurting. But the mental abuse, it's meant to live, and it's exhausting, and it's terrible, and you feel just like stuck in this vortex.
Look, I'll be the first one to say if she is actually being physically harmed and battered, that is wrong. and she is making a good decision by leaving this man, right? If that is the facts of the case, there's legitimate proof that this is happening. I don't know, maybe markings, things that she went to the police after they occurred and they were able to assess her body. Yep, that is a sign of physical trauma. But if there isn't that, I'm sorry, but in today's world, I'm not inclined to just believe accusations. I wish things were different and I could believe her, but you know what? She stands to gain a lot. A lot of people have lied. There are movements that have been created to basically use men as a sort of stepping stone to get what they want. I just am not inclined to believe all of these women who go on TikTok. I'm supposed to believe all of you? No, I'm not going to do it. And like I said, if it's true and these things are really happening, I'm the first one to say good for you. But, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, and it's awful, and it's no way to live, and it's terrible for your nervous system, and you deserve better.
This woman literally claims being abused by the simple fact that she thought that one day her husband might abuse her. Do you guys realize how insane this is? Well, after divorcing her husband, the tears of misery and karma started to hit and she started going broke. Check it out.
I try so hard to stay positive all the time, but it is so hard to live in this economy as a two-parent household, let alone a one-parent household. I had an unexpected $900 bill taken out of my checking account today. I literally just got paid this morning, my first full paycheck at my new job, and then I got an email from daycare that I owe them like $800 because I stopped getting child support checks, and my child support checks pay for my daycare, and that's gone. And I'm spending so much more on gas now because I work in an office.
My dear, now you can get a test of what being a man and a provider feels like. Here are some more sweet tears of regrets about how the single life is hard.
Well, hold on. Why did she stop getting child support checks? That's my question.
A single mom is so hard. Being an autistic single mom is a whole nother. I worked from home for 4.5 years after not working really at all for 2.5 years. Well, I owned a daycare when I lived in Illinois, and because that was the best thing ever. Just tiny humans all day. But I can't handle this shit. I have absolutely no time or space to just exist. Every waking moment of my day is demanded to somebody else. I have no autonomy over anything that I'm doing, and as somebody with PDA, that's really hard. I'm having a hard time just surviving right now. All I had to do was go to work every day. I love my job. I'd be fine. I'd come home and I'd decompress and I'd have space for my partner, and that'd be fine.
Yeah. Be more careful about who you let nut in you, I guess, right? If this guy's showing red flags, right? Maybe don't let him ejaculate inside of you. Right? The fact that the United States leads the world in single mothers is just ridiculous.
But I have kids that have really, really, really high needs, so I don't have time to decompress anywhere at all at any part of my day. And I can't even go to the gym anymore, which was the only place I used to find an ounce of sanity.
Yeah, and women are sexually liberated. They have all the rights that men do. They can make their own decisions. They're adults. And so a lot of them are choosing to make themselves single mothers. I do not feel bad for them because they get to choose their mates, don't they? Their father, their brother, their uncle, great-grandfather, grandfather. These men don't get to be involved with these women and who they pick to mate with. And oftentimes if these men did try to come in and say, you know what, that's not a good person, you should pick them, most likely the women aren't going to listen. So it's really all on them.
All of this because I have to be the sole provider for 4 kids, because for some odd reason their other parent could care less about making sure that their needs are met. I'm the one exhausting myself, fighting my son's school, literally constantly. And it's been so hard. And I have to go to school.
Yeah, and I've said this in a previous video, but the fact that this is a woman making content like this, making TikToks like this, it shows me and tells me she is a bigger problem than she thinks she is, because this type of behavior, going online, ranting, talking about how bad you have it, talking about how difficult it is, talking badly about your ex-husband and the father of your children, putting all this stuff out there on the internet for everyone to see, being, okay with disclosing everything. This is weird behavior, in my opinion, and it's not really honorable. And so that does, in fact, tell me, just the mere fact that this woman is in front of me and she has put herself out here like this, crying and complaining, and again, talking bad about her ex-husband and throwing the blame at everybody, accusing this man of emotional abuse and being an abuser, and yet she chose to have 3 kids with him, all kind of separate, like years apart. So like, what does that say, really? Come on now. You didn't know this guy was an abuser after the first kid? Not after the second one? No? Okay, but it was after the third one. That's when you finally woke up and decided, you know what? Yeah, this guy, he's not a good mate, not a good man. But yeah, I mean, the fact that this woman is in front of me and she is doing this, that tells me she's a bigger problem than she thinks she is.
Take the kids to school. Can't even take 3 minutes to record a video. It's on my toddler bus. It's not fair.
It's not fair what?
Ridiculous amount of responsibility that has been heaped on me and me alone.
Well, accusing a man of being an abuser will often do that. If you do this, if you accuse this man of the things you're accusing him of, court's probably going to look at that and like, well, you know what? It kind of sounds like it's in the best interest that these kids live with you full time and not this guy who you claim to be an abuser. So I don't know why you are surprised that you are now faced with the burden of being the, prime parent, the one who has full custody. I don't know why you're surprised. Surely your lawyers told you this was going to happen. Oh, but because the child support payments aren't coming anymore, now you have a massive problem with it. So it's all about financial. So it's all about finances, is it? It's all about finances. You weren't really interested in being the primary parent and having that full responsibility. You weren't really interested in that. What you were really interested in was the money.
Somebody made a choice to not be involved with their own children. I just will never understand, as a parent, not wanting to make sure that your kids have the very best of everything, including, and that means making sure that their mental health is good so that they can show up and be the very best parent to your kids every single day.
Your mental health is your responsibility, nobody else's.
For anybody's mental health to have this amount of pressure and responsibility on them all by themselves. No. He thinks that my mom pays for everything and does everything for me and I'm just out here living my life. Nope. No, that's not the case. I do everything for these kids. Make sure they have what they need.
Jeez.
Remember that she chose to divorce her husband at her own free will. And now, all over sudden, everything is her ex-husband's fault.
Yep.
We all know the real reason all these women leave and destroy their families. They just get bored and want some new and exciting that they can't even describe themselves. They want the thrill of the unknown. The drama gets them excited. They want to keep on chasing after Chad and Tyrone. They make all types of fantasies in their head and internalize everything they see on the media. In this case, this woman really thought that she could just replace her husband with another better man easily. Well, after getting pumped and dumped by her so-called dream man, she comes back crying once again to the internet for sympathy. Check it out.
Love is such a beautiful and dangerous thing. Love can move mountains, and love can crush our souls. They'll come into our lives, and we only get to keep them for a season. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes love can't overcome reality. And I think that's the most painful loss that anybody can ever experience. Knowing that you and a person complement each other so well, and you bring each other so much happiness, but logistically, realistically, it can't work.
She's not driving.
And it's hard.
This woman finally realizes that the top-tier men that she has been chasing after don't want to commit to her. Now she is trying to make sense of all of this situation by acting all philosophical and sad. No, my dear. You just played yourself thinking that the grass was greener on the other side. It is pretty sad to see the absolute state of the modern woman today. This woman had a husband and family that she destroyed just so that she can be in these streets getting pumped and dumped. My dear, on this side of the internet, we've got no sympathy for women like you. Fellas, no matter what you do or what you sacrifice or what you endure to make the lives of the people around you better, the fault will always be on your head when things go south. So
It's amazing how she decided to file for divorce with 4 kids. Oh, she had 4 kids. So it took her 4 children to realize, okay, including an infant, then comes back crying for sympathy. Constantly films herself alone with a face full of makeup and her nails perfectly manicured, complaining she has no time for herself. Kicks the father out and does not let him see his children, then complains about having to look after them. Can't win with these crazies. Well, yeah, that's exactly what she did, right? She told the court or whoever, this guy's an abuser. So yeah, the father isn't really going to get to be in those kids' lives. These women delude themselves into thinking that divorce is just a reset button. Then they are shocked to find that it isn't. The man is completely uninvolved with those 4 kids, so she declares, but what's the man's side of the story? Exactly. She got full custody of the children and moved away from him. She has been dragging him to court forever, then he got tired of it. She also claims her ex-husband is no longer paying child support. That's probably a lie. As long as the kids are below 18, the man is required to pay child support unless he's in jail. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why I question, what happened? Why is he not paying child support anymore? Was it switched up? I don't understand. I really don't. If she still has custody, he's going to have to pay child support. So I don't understand. Don't believe women on TikTok crying. It sounds like to me that she didn't leave on her own. She had another guy lined up already. But once he moved in, he didn't want the kids and hauled ass. The last 3 first dates I went on, all the women did was complain about all their exes and paint themselves as the victim. The level of narcissism in modern women is insane. I no longer date. Mental abuse probably means he said no weekends in Tijuana with your girlfriends to her and no video games until you do your homework to the kids. Any divorce, they will always paint themselves as the victim, even when they are the ones who wanted the divorce. That's right. Yep, no matter what, it's never on the woman, right? She initiates divorce and somehow it wasn't her fault. It was the man's fault. It's always the men. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. So if you enjoyed that, drop a like and a sub. Bye-bye.